I would have been told as a brand new barber in this industry. So my name is Andre Morales, aka Dre Clipper Hands, and I've been a barber for about 9 years, going on 10. And in my time as a barber, I've made a lot of mistakes, and I've also done a lot of good things. You know what I'm saying? And I had to learn a lot of my stuff through the process of elimination, right? Making a bad decision, being like, no, I'm not going to do that again. Making a good decision and be like, man, I'm going to keep doing that more. So my goal with this video here today is to give you guys some advice and things that I wish I would have known as a new barber, and hopefully it helps you. So this one might shock you. All right, I want to start off hot. Is your haircuts don't matter that much, right? Obviously, your haircuts have to be decent to a certain extent. They have to look good. They have to be passable. The common person has to look in the mirror and feel good about it. But your haircuts don't matter as much as you think they do. I know when I first started cutting hair, I was trying to be the best barber in the entire world, which isn't a bad goal. But I would stress myself out to the point if the haircut wasn't as blurry as I wanted it to be, the lineup wasn't as sharp as I wanted it to be, you know, I would be hard on myself and it would affect my haircuts from that point on the rest of the day. And it would all
Man, Dre ain't lying. I'm telling you. Your haircuts don't matter as much as you think they do. Oh man, that's a good one.
also take my focus off what's important, right? Most clients, right, are not going to notice the things that you notice about a haircut. They're not going to notice the slight line behind their ear, right? They're not going to notice that the lineup isn't as sharp as you wanted it to be. As a barber, you have a certain eye and a perspective that most clients, unless they come from a background of cutting hair, aren't going to notice. Now, this doesn't mean just butcher them because they're naive and don't know what a good haircut is. But I say that all to say, don't be so hard on yourself, right? And don't be so focused on the haircut to the point where you think that's all that matters. But I only realized it the longer I did this, right? The longer I was a barber, I started to realize, like, man, I really didn't like this haircut, right? But listen, here's the thing. Here's the thing, all right? Because if someone comes to you at the beginning of your barber career, that means that the haircut you gave them from 5 years ago when they first started coming to you, they would be okay with that now. Right? Put that into perspective. The haircut that you gave them when they first started coming to you, they liked. And they continue to come back. So worst case scenario, right? 5 years later, if that haircut looks like that, they're okay with it. As a young barber, um, I didn't know about the business side of barbering. I thought you would do good haircuts, make a lot of money, and be completely booked. Right? But being perfect at haircuts does not make you booked. I've seen tons of great barbers that do amazing, perfect haircuts that are better than me, and I can get in with them tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So your haircuts don't matter as much as you think they do. But learning how to run your business and structuring how you do your taxes and all of those things matter so much more. And that goes into
Dre hit it on the head once again. The things that you don't pay much attention to in this business matter more than just the product. Like he said, you don't have to give the best haircut in the world. You could give them a haircut that worked for them 5 years ago that you gave them, still to this day. But long as you're handling the stuff outside of just the haircut, how have you been? Are you doing good today? Going the extra mile to show them that they're appreciated, carrying the little conversation, making sure you're on time. A lot of things that goes into it outside of the haircut that have a person coming back. Let's get back to
my second point. When I first started, I took on a mentality because I was very young. I was 18, and I always heard it's not all about the money, which it's not, right? Right? But it is, you know, because as a barber, we love what we do, right? We want to be the best at it. We do it because we love it. But just like any job, there's days you get tired, and there's days you don't want to do it, right? But also, as a barber, this funds your life. This is essentially your job. You cut hair in exchange for money, right? But I knew when I adopted the mentality that it's not all about money, I held myself back because um, I was taking so long on haircuts that I wasn't making the money that I needed to take. And really, when you take too long on a client's hair, a lot of clients don't like it. You know what I'm saying? They don't like it. They have places to be, they have a life as well. They don't want to sit in your chair for an hour and a half. No kidding. I was average taking an hour and a half on a haircut when I first started. And it really hindered me because that goes from me being able to do 2 haircuts in an hour and a half or three haircuts in an hour and a half to doing one right for $30. And then you work a eight to five shift, a 9 to 5 shift, and you're doing a haircut every hour and a half, you're not making that good of money. You know what I'm saying? So
Facts.
so yes, it's not all about the money, but it is. Right? Treat it like a job. Understand that your time slots that you give for every single haircut is important. Right? If you can do a 30-minute haircut that is clean, that is quality, that the client likes, and you work 9 to 5, you're gonna make more than the barber who takes an hour but charges the same price just because you're doing it more frequently. You know what I'm saying? That's why time.
Man, we're gonna get to that part. That's some great advice. You ain't gotta take no hour. You ain't gotta take an hour and a half to do a haircut. Guess what? The hair gonna be not growing back in 2 weeks. They're gonna need another cut. Your time's so much more valuable than just an hour and a half to spend on one person. If you're doing this every single day, you need to be getting them out in 30 minutes, no longer than 45 minutes. Back in the days, the OG barbers was getting people out in less than 20 minutes. Quality from head, top of the head, all the way down to the face in 20 minutes with the razor. It don't take too long. It's a numbers game at the same time. We're going to keep that chair spinning, and we're going to spin it with quality in a timely fashion. This is some great advice. Hey, beginner barbers, y'all need to take heed to what he said because he's giving real game. Like we said, that haircut, it matters, but it don't matter as much as you think. 2, don't take all day on no one haircut. Your time is much more valuable than to just be sitting and standing behind a chair trying to get the best haircut in the world, and their hair gonna grow back in 2 weeks. Does that make sense? Come on, let's get back to
In that your haircuts don't matter because if you're so focused on the quality that it's taking forever, you're not gonna make the same amount of money, and the client would have been happy with what it looked like 20 minutes ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's a balance of understanding that you want to get better, while at the same time that you're running a business, and what you do for money, right? And like I said, the mentality of it's not all about the money really held me back because I was so focused on the haircuts. I was taking so long that I wasn't making the money that I should have been. And I got a lot of leeway because again, I started at 18 years old, but I see a lot of older barbers do it as well. So your goal as a new barber is to get as good as you can, yes, but I would really focus on your time and your time management. Make sure that you're on time for your clients, right? Make sure you're doing the haircuts in an efficient manner and they're sitting in the chair at the time of their appointment. You're not going to be perfect, you're not, but try your best. And this goes into my next point. Your service matters just as much as the haircut, right? Because along with me taking so long on a haircut, I also didn't talk very much. So I wasn't servicing my client as well as I could have. Right? The entire experience is what makes a haircut worth the money that it costs. Right? I can give you a fire haircut, right? But if I treat you like trash, I'm late to your appointment every single time. I have no communication with you, not even a hi or a bye. The haircut value just goes down. You know what I'm saying? So I challenge you to look at the entirety of your service from the moment that they walk in, what does it smell like? The moment that they sit down, does your cape smell like it's been on 100 other people before them? You want to make sure your cape smells good. Um, are you greeting them? Are you saying hi? Do you have a smile on your face? You know, basic customer service stuff. Yes, the barber industry is much more chill. We have a much more personal relationship with our client, but at the end of the day, that's our customer, right? That person, if they come every 2 weeks and they're paying you $40, they're giving you, anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 every single year just off one client. Look at them like that. Look at them. Don't challenge.
So much value with that statement. One client, treating them with the well respect that they deserve, is one of the greatest advice to be successful in this industry. Let's get back to it. The haircuts matter, but the way that you treat a person matters 10 times more, in my personal opinion. I've been in the industry for 11 years. The way you treat a person is going to take you so much further in this industry than just the haircut. The haircut matters. I don't want to take away from the cut, but I would honestly say it doesn't matter as much as that. Hey, how you doing? The conversation, the safety, the comfortability, being on time, all these things that come with running the business matters so much more to all my new barbers, to all the people aspiring to be in the industry. Man, this is some great advice that can propel you to do things in this industry faster than me, faster than Dre, faster than a lot of guys that you see in this industry if you take heed to what the OG, I guess we could say we OGs now, we 10 plus years in, are saying. This is how the game goes. Yes, you're gonna give good haircuts. We already know that. But can you treat your customers slash clients with great care? Do you value that they had to trade their time to get that money to come and see you? Do you value them enough to have them in the chair on time? Do you value them enough to just say hey or have a good day? Let me know your thoughts down below. It's FadeMaster.